Scenarios. The basics. Directual scenarios are the workflows for all the data in an app. You can use the scenarios to describe and automate any of the app's back-end logic. That's only possible thanks to Directual's universal approach. Scenarios deal with abstract pieces of data, or objects, with no direct connection to specific business purposes. Let's consider how Directual scenarios are run. Further step configuration details will be covered in future video tutorials. A scenario is a sequence of steps, and each one processes an object as it flows through the scenario. Every scenario begins with a start step and ends with an exit step, or with the very last step in a thread. While designing a scenario, we choose the target structure and trigger type. These are the settings for the Start step. We'll also see them after we click the New Scenario button. Now, let's look at the different triggers. A scenario can process all new objects from a target structure in real time. For example, a new object might present data from, say, a web form. Or we can choose a number of structure fields. And the scenario triggers when one of those object properties is changed. That's in real time too. A scenario can be configured as a scheduled task. We choose how regular they should be. Every day, every week, or on particular days of the month. When it's time for a scheduled scenario, all objects from the target structure go through the filter, which is configured in the Start settings. And then, the filtered group of objects goes through the scenario flow. Don't forget that any scheduled scenario can also be started manually, like this. And there's one more option for starting a scenario. It can also be triggered from another flow, using the Link Scenario step, which can push one or a few objects into a scenario. To conclude this video tutorial, we'd like to emphasize that Directual's scenario functionality is very flexible, but an inexperienced developer could still get into a mess. Here are some simple recommendations for doing well. Keep scenarios as simple as possible, with only a few steps. Create a clear system of folders. Give descriptive names to all scenarios and folders. Avoid having several scenarios with the same triggers. And don't be afraid to learn, experiment, and share your experience with the Directual community. There are seasoned app makers out there who are always happy to help.